Hey guys, before this episode of the pod starts, I just want to remind you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. And then also in this episode, I forgot to give a big shout out to Scotty Bridgeway. He's Baby Keem's DJ and producer, and he is killing it. And I also didn't give him a shout out or a mention in my album review of Casino. He is really killing it and really deserves his flowers. So I just wanted to make sure I add that in here at the start of the video. Well, let's go ahead and dive right in. What's up, gang? Back again with episode 3 of the pod. We got a few different topics to discuss today, so we're going to go ahead and just dive right into it. But before we do that, make sure, if you guys have not yet, make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, and check out my new book, The Simplicity Complexity of Life, down in the bio. And besides that, let's go ahead and just dive right in. So, first topic of discussion today is we're going to be talking about movies. I'm a big movie buff. I know we go dig in the bins sometimes at Cheapo Records downtown, spend hours down there looking for movies. So I want to talk about our top 3 movies. So you want to start with yours or you want me to give you mine? I think you should start with yours.
I'll start with mine.
And if you don't know yours, I think I know what your top 3 would be.
I definitely got my top 2. I don't know what my third one is.
Alright.
But number 1, I'm gonna say my favorite movie is Superbad of all time.
Superbad? Okay.
Second one, Garfield.
Garfield, okay.
Garfield.
Alright.
And then third one, shit. Probably
I think I know like 3 different places where this could go.
Probably Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka, which one?
The one, I don't know, the OG one.
The one with not with Johnny Depp, the old one.
I think so. I don't know.
The one in the 80s.
No.
So the one with Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
All right. Because I thought these were the 3 I thought you were gonna go with. I thought you were gonna go with Cat in the Hat.
Oh, Cat in the Hat's in top 5.
I thought you were gonna go with Borat.
Borat.
And then I thought you were gonna go with Friday.
Okay.
That's what I thought your top 3 were gonna be. My top 3 are Fridays in there. Then I'm gonna go Wolf of Wall Street and then Django Unchained. I think Django Unchained is as close to a perfect movie as you can get. I think Django Unchained is a 10 out of 10 perfect movie. Everything from the story to the actors, the writing, everything, the way it's filmed. I mean, from beginning to end, it's just cinematically perfect. It's just so entertaining. It's a tad bit long. It's like 2.5 hours, but pretty much all the way from the start to the end, there's action, and it's just super entertaining. Just a great story.
I really fucked with Sinners too.
Sinners was a really good movie. Yeah, we want to watch that last year when it came out. That was a good movie. All right. Well, next question we're going to be discussing today is how to deal with indoctrination. Do you know what indoctrination is?
No.
No? So indoctrination is introducing or slowly over time implementing and feeding people ideas kind of subconsciously, or teaching them about things to get them to further believe them, or almost in a sense not forcing them but sometimes forcing them to believe certain ideas or rhetoric. So a few examples are, like, parents obviously do this with their kids sometimes in positive ways. They always perceive it as them positively doing it, but I think some negative ways are politically, morally, and religiously. Implementing your own political beliefs and pushing those on your children, especially at young ages, I think is fucked up. Or your religious beliefs. Morality is a tad bit, different, because that is very much objective. So you can make the argument that morality and religious and political beliefs are all subjective, but morality more so is subjective in the sense that, or more objective, in the sense that there are certain things that are just mostly seen as universally wrong, like murder, stealing, things of that nature, but religion and what religious beliefs are correct, or what political beliefs are correct, is a lot more subjective. With that, I have a story, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because I have a story from this last week. So one of the biggest things, obviously, one of the biggest groups of people that are indoctrinated are children, and as they develop early, obviously, you teach your kids about what you want to teach them, and that's a lot of that early adolescence development and structure you give your kids early on lasts with them throughout life, and as they age, those beliefs become more ingrained, and they see that more as truth, and that it aligns with their morals and their worldviews more. Would you kind of agree with that? Yeah. Okay. What do you think of that?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, as far as my story or whatever, because I think I don't know. Obviously, you should try and positively influence your kids, but I don't know. For me, as far as teaching my kids about religion and politics, I'm going to teach them about these things, and I'm going to share with them my opinions, but I'm not going to necessarily tell them this is right and this is wrong, or you have to believe this. And especially, it's not going to be something I'm teaching my 3, 5, 7-year-old kid. I'm going to wait till they're 10, 11, 12 years old before I start introducing that. Morality and giving them structure into at least forming into who they are as a person. You start that from the day they're born, and I think that's important. But teaching them about politics, there's no reason why a 5-year-old should know about politics or about world issues like that. They don't really comprehend that, and to them it usually just comes as a disadvantage, because it just ends up in the long run making them into a bigot and just causing them to have these skewed worldviews of reality and what actual politics look like. And I don't know, I just think most times it doesn't work out for the best. And I think it's important to teach them, I think, I want to know what you think about this, teach them about it, obviously, in moderation, piece by piece. You kind of think similar to that, or what's kind of your opinion as far as how much you should show a kid politics or religious things or ideas growing up?
I mean, I don't think kids really need to know all that. I mean, to an extent, I guess.
I feel it's important to teach them about it,
yeah.
But as far as pushing them, telling them, Jesus said this, you're gay, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be telling a fucking 6-year-old kid that,
No.
That's fucked up. But they be doing that in church and stuff, or forcing your kid to go to church or do this. I think that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I think you can teach them about the things and be like, hey, this group of people believes this certain thing, this group believes this, I believe this, your mom believes this, your dad believes that, or whatever it may be, or show them or may show them some stories or things, or slowly bring them up into it. But forcing them to go to church every Sunday, or do this or do that, or telling them if they don't do this, they're gonna fucking burn in hell for eternity, or if they end up like this or they like that thing, they're fucking gay or whatever. I think that's fucked up and that's wrong. But rounding back to kind of the bigger point, how do you think people should go as far as presenting ideas and spooning feeding it almost to kids as they grow up? How do you think people should approach that thing? How did your mom kind of present those ideas to you, politics or religious things?
I don't really think she did all that much.
Okay.
Or all that I remember.
Is your mom religious? I don't even think I know this.
I mean, she's Christian.
She believes in Jehovah's?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. Because, Juan and Cello, they always brought me to church or whatever, and Cello would read me the Bible, but she was never you gotta follow. It wasn't a every Sunday thing. It was
I remember going to church on Easter and shit.
Easter, yeah. So that was Juan Cello would bring me 3, maybe 4 times a year with them, if my mom was working or stuff like that. But they weren't it's an every Sunday thing. If you miss, you're gonna fucking burn in hell. Because I've worked with kids, now that they're oh, my parents are gonna be mad if I miss church.
Yeah.
the fuck, why? Or, I can't do anything on Sunday because I have to go to Bible study, like, or another thing I think is weird is these kids, they're having these Bible study things, and it's not even, you guys say a prayer and then you guys eat snacks and watch movies and like, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't Bible study, dude. It's you fucking saying a prayer and then you guys dance and fucking party. Yeah. That's not Bible study. But then they try and masquerade it, like, they try and get people to come by, it's a party, but then we're going to say some prayers in between, and then we're going to, get fucked up and, like, eat food and snacks and all this shit and do all this weird crap and stuff. I've been seeing some weird videos, kids fucking spin water at each other at these things, do all kind of weird sex, wearing robes and weird crap. I don't know, it's fucking weird. But, yeah, like, kids that are like, oh, my parents are going to be upset if I don't go to church with them on Sunday, like, that's fucked up, or, or kids, or just people in general, I'll be talking to them and discussing, like, religion or Christianity or things of that nature, and they're like, oh yeah, well, it's wrong to be gay, and I'm like, oh, well, why? And they're like, oh, because my dad said so, or it says in the Bible. I'm like, but what specifically about it is wrong? They're like, oh, well, just my dad told me it was wrong, or the Bible said that was wrong. And I'm like, all right, well, do you have any friends that are gay? I'm like, and they'll be like, well, yeah. And I'm like, so what do you think's gonna happen? Oh, they're gonna burn in hell. It's like, what? Like, they're just a normal fucking person like you. Like, who cares, dude? Like, I don't know. I think all that indoctrination, and you see it build up over time too. Like, as they progress, the parents, they plant those seeds early. They plant them when they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and then as they grow into being an adult and a teenager and a young adult, those seeds become even more ingrained. Like, I don't know, I think it's important to teach about those things, and you can even share your opinions with your kids, but forcing them to go to church or believe what you do, I think that's fucked up, or saying you're going to be mad at them if they don't practice the same things that you believe in. I think that's fucked up, and I don't know, I just think that's wrong, and I think that usually leads your kid down a bad path, and a path where, not necessarily bad, but a path where they end up being very naive and they kind of float throughout life, and have a very skewed worldview. And then the reason why I wanted to talk about this, though, is because I have a funny story from work. I was teaching swim lessons, and I have this family, and they're nice family, big family, big family, 5 kids. I teach 3 of them, and they're all younger kids. I think the oldest one's like 7 and the youngest one's like 3. And I'm teaching 3 of them. It's 2 girls and a boy. And I'm teaching them, and then I'm teaching them how to do the ice cream scoops. I'm like, all right, guys, what kind of ice cream are we scooping today? And I'm like, all right, well,
sorry.
Usually I get no answer. Usually I go, oh, chocolate chip, mint, And then the first kid, I'm like, all right, buddy, what are we scooping today? What flavor ice cream? He goes, shrimp ice cream. And I'm like, what? Shrimp ice cream? And he's like, no, Donald Trump ice cream. And I'm in my head, I'm like 7 years old. Well, the first thing I was like, oh, that must be some shit flavored ice cream. And then I was like, oh, that must be the ice cream they serve on Epstein Island.
You said that?
No, I didn't say that. No, I was thinking it though. But yeah, and then I'm like, oh, all right, buddy. Then I go to the next kid, and I'm like, all right, what kind of ice cream are we scooping? 6, 7 ice cream. That one was more just dumb. That one was just more stupid. And then I go to the last kid, and she's like, cigarette ice cream. And then they all start chanting cigarette ice cream.
What the hell?
Yeah, and it's like, that's disgusting. Like, first off, obviously one of their parents is probably a smoker or something and smokes a lot in front of them. But it's like, even those little subtle things, like, the idea of cigarettes or smoking isn't something, parents teach their kids to think is cool. But it's like, even those minute things that you do in front of your kids, they pick up on that shit, The way you talk, the way you address others.
That's how my mom was. Smoking in the house.
Yep. And now you're the biggest toker.
Now look at me.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, like people really gotta realize like those things that they say and do impact their kids, even if they're not doing it directly to their kids or telling them about it. Like if you're cussing in front of your kids are gonna cuss more. If you're, treat people like shit, guess what? Your kid's probably gonna be an asshole and treat people like shit, when they grow up. Because they're like, oh, well, that's how my parents treat people, or, whatever. Like, the things you do, even if you don't do them directly to your kid, they still, early on, they pick up on that shit and they keep that and with them throughout their whole life. Because they're like, subconsciously, they see their parents, mom and dad, do that, and they keep that with them and they carry that throughout life because that's, from early on, they see that as being okay, So, I don't know, I think indoctrination, I think it's important to teach your kids about certain things, but, I don't know, not forcing your kids to believe the same shit you do, I think is fucking weird. Teach them about it, you can tell them even your beliefs, but I think it's fucking weird, to force them to believe that shit. Because, yeah, like Monchella, they brought me to church and Chella read me the Bible. I remember growing up and read me the stories about Daniel getting saved from the lion's den and all that shit and Noah's Ark. But she wasn't like, oh, if you don't go to church every Sunday, you're gonna fucking burn in hell or none of that weird shit, or if you don't believe what I believe, you're fucked up. Like, I remember I had a little prayer bracelet and beads and shit, in elementary school that she gave me. Because she's like, oh, I think this will keep bring you good luck. Like, I remember that shit, but she was started like forcing that shit upon me, And look at me now. Like, now I'm a very much strong disbeliever in religion. I'd say I'm agnostic. I believe there's a possibility of a higher power or something greater, but I don't necessarily believe it's a God, or at least God within the Abrahamic belief system of Christianity. But yeah, I don't know, indoctrination, I think it's a strange thing. What was the next thing we were going to talk about? Oh, Sean Strickland.
Oh, yeah.
Sean fucking Strickland.
I don't know much about it. You know more.
So you know Sean Strickland, right?
Yeah.
The UFC fighter?
Yeah.
He had a fight this last weekend. He was fighting Anthony Hernandez, and he had a press conference beforehand, like 3 days before. I don't know if it was the day they did the weigh-in. I think it was just a random press conference, like media day for him. And the interviewers, I don't know, apparently, Dana White came out and he was like, oh, you guys are trying to bait him into all this shit. No, he's just a fucking blatant bigot and a racist. Like, just saying racist, homophobic bullshit, sexist crap, like saying that, oh, when, little fucking Latissa and all this fucking shit, when these black girls get kidnapped in Compton and Detroit, no one fucking cares. Like, yeah, is that kind of somewhat sadly the truth? Yes, but him like joking about it and trying to make fun of it, like, dude, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, that doesn't make you a man. And then him saying that no one cares about women's sports and that any man can beat Amanda Nunes. Do you know who Amanda Nunes is? She's the greatest UFC fighter of all time, retired, undefeated, double champ. That's not true. I know probably 99% of men could not fucking beat her in a fight. She is an amazing fighter, an amazing athlete. And him saying, like, Ronda Rousey just recently announced she's coming out of, well, she was never, like, really officially retired, but she stopped fighting, She went and did the WWE wrestling thing for a little while, but she's coming out of retirement to fight this, fight Gina, this one chick, and they're gonna do a fight in Jake Paul's promotion, most valuable promotions or whatever, his MVP promotion, I think is what it's called. They're fighting for that promotion, and he's like, yeah, I think it'd be better if they fought naked, and all that shit, and like, well, women are good at some things, not sports, but being, in the kitchen, being mothers, cleaning, stuff like that they're good at. Like, dude, you're just a fucking weirdo. And it's not like it's like a triggering thing for like me or other people, but it's like, dude, you gotta stand up for people, like, and stand up against just blatant fucking idiots like that. Like, I don't know, I feel more bad for him that he thinks and like acts this way, and I think he really puts it on as a front to try and make himself feel more confident within his own masculinity and within himself for saying the lack of a man he actually is, and thinking that if he spews all this hate and perpetuates all this bullshit to these fucking online keyboard warriors and incels and fucking edgelords of the fucking internet that more people are gonna like him or respect him or agree with him just so he can try and abide and fucking please these fucking losers out there. But yeah, what do you think about the whole situation? Just him, like, I don't know. And then also the next press conference they had after the fight, they cut off his fucking mic after like, I don't know, like 10 minutes of him talking.
Yeah, I've seen like clips of him saying about what's her name?
Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes. And he was like that guy, and then he pointed.
Yeah, that fat guy in the crowd, he can beat her. No, he fucking can't, dude. Like, she would kick his fucking head off, and she would probably kick your ass too, Sean.
I've seen pictures of her. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's one scary fucking woman. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, dude. I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's obviously, and this is another thing. Like, I've gotten a lot of fucking arguments with people in the comment sections and shit. Because I'm spreading my opinion about it. Which I have full right to do. And if he wants to say that shit, he can. But I don't think the UFC should be platforming him to spew that fucking hate. Like, dude, you guys are a massive fucking corporation and company. I mean, obviously they can do whatever they want, but I think as a big company, you're responsible for your athletes and your fighters, and you should try and promote positivity, especially with such a big fucking sport like UFC, and people already get a fucking bad perception behind it because they're like, oh, it's fighting, it's promoting violence. No, it's not. They're competing. They're athletes that are performing and competing to see who is the best in a very much legitimate sport. And to, shit like that makes you guys look fucking bad as a company. Because now people that might be against the UFC are like, oh, now it's just, oh, well, see, now it's filled with fucking bigots and all these fucking Trump supporters and all this bullshit, and Sean Strickland is a fucking bigot and just a blatant fucking racist, homophobic piece of shit person. But I think it's just, him trying to make himself feel better for all his shortcomings as a man, and him, struggling with his own bullshit. So, I don't try and hold any of that against him, but, there's consequences to your actions, and that includes what you say, If you spread hate and fucking misinformation and all this dumb shit, you're entitled to your opinion, and if you want to spew that hate, you have full right to do that. You have the freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean you are free from consequences, So, just like how you have the right to drink once you turn 21, you have that right. But if you go and fucking drunk drive, you are going to get arrested. There's consequences to your actions for anything. If you spew hate and bullshit, you're gonna get in trouble. Like if you're a teacher and you fucking say fucked up shit on the internet or promote bad ideas online that, are hateful or just straight up wrong, and just rooted in racism or whatever, you're most likely gonna get fired, But I think, yeah, as the UFC, they should have hold their fighters to a bit higher standard, and obviously people can believe politically or whatever they want, and if he is in this fucking dumb mindset and ideology of spewing hate and fucking misinformation, he can believe that. But the UFC should really look at who they're platforming, and at least try and get the shit back on course. Like if it is like what Dana White was saying, that the reporters are trying to fish him and lure him into fucking saying and talking about this shit, then steer it back on course, dude. Be like, hey, like, where are the actual questions about the fucking fight, dude? If like, why? Yeah, like, okay, why are they asking about the fucking Super Bowl halftime show and what he thinks of gay people and all this shit? Like, yeah, okay. Then get it back on the fight. Ask him questions about, oh, how are you gonna approach this fight? How was your cut down for your weight? What's different between this fight and your last fight? What's your mindset going into this one? Steer it back on track then, you guys, or just fucking cut it. Don't just give him, I think it was like 15 or 20 fucking minutes of him just going on this racist fucking rant of just stupidity and bullshit, So I think, I don't know, holding people, the UFC should just hold, I don't know, their athletes to a higher standard. Like any big company or corporation should hold their athletes or their employee to a high fucking standard, Like you got that freedom of speech, but again, there's consequences to your actions, including what you say. let's see. As far as he did end up going on to win that fight, and this is something I can commend him for, that he was a man and he ended up shaking Anthony Hernandez's hand at the end, and and he gave him his props and said he was a real man and he was a very stand-up guy and much more of a man than he ever will be. His words, not just mine, but I appreciate that from Sean. But what do you kind of think about the situation? Did you see any clips of the fight? It was an okay fight.
Don't think I did.
Okay.
But I think the whole situation is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Like, as far as censorship and stuff like that, because I think they should have the right to freedom of speech, but I think there is, a time and a place for everything,
Yeah.
And the UFC or just any big company in general should, not be promoting or giving a platform to just bullshit rhetoric that's just not true. Like, saying being gay is a mental illness, that's not true. Scientifically, that's not fucking true. Like, ask any scientist, ask any medical professional, they will tell you that is not true. Like, homosexuality is not only a thing within humans, but within other animals too. Dogs, giraffes, zebras, monkeys, all have homosexual relationships with one another. Like, it's not like a fucking rare thing.
Cat's gay.
Your cat's probably fucking gay. Like, it's not a rare thing. Like, it's not a crazy concept. So saying being gay is a mental illness, I think that's just fucked up and just blatantly spewing misinformation to these fucking incel fucking edgelord warriors on the fucking internet. But anything else you'd like to add kind of on that, or any last thoughts?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Next topic of discussion I wanted to bring up to you was AI and kind of that whole thing. So obviously AI is becoming such an advanced thing in society nowadays. So with that, as far as like people getting tricked by AI and like fake news, have you kind of what? The boomers.
The boomers.
Yeah. Have you been seeing anything about that? Like any stuff about
I haven't seen the AI videos.
The AI videos, yeah, the Sora AI videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so boomers just getting tricked and shit, and it's like, I feel bad for them, but it's like, you gotta be a little bit more aware and self-conscious, What do you kind of think?
Definitely, yeah. I don't know why everyone thinks it's real when it's obviously fucking fake.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't know how does a person just look at like something like that?
Yeah. Well, I think a big part is they have an idea or a perception of what they want to be real. So they want to perceive, oh, I want to see Donald Trump just be a positive person. I don't want to see him in a negative light. So they're going to go and weed out throughout all the bullshit and just pull the fucking shit that fits their agenda. And everyone does this to an extent with certain things. But politics is a big one. Especially you see this with extremists on both ends, the left and the right. The left does this primarily with things like abortion. They'll pull just the bullshit rhetoric to support their opinion on why abortion's okay and why it's not murder, even though it is. And then the right, they will pull the same shit on why Donald Trump's not a racist and why he is not a fucking pedophile and why him being in the Epstein files, a billion times is just a coincidence and all this weird shit.
What happened with Bubba?
Yeah, what happened with Bubba? Yep. But both sides do this to an extent on both different extreme ends, but and everyone from the extreme ends to the middle does this to an extent, but the extreme ends I think are really where it causes a lot of problems and really where we're having trouble, especially in the world today, and especially with so much of social media being able to be fueled by such, bullshit. As far as like fake news, like have you seen any of those videos? You'd be seeing the Warren Buffett videos or the Elon Musk. Hey guys, I'm cashing out right now, and I'm sending all of you guys who hit the link in my. It's the AI videos of like Warren Buffett and Elon Musk. Like,
yeah,
I'm giving out $50,000
to like Mr. Beast too.
Yep, Mr. Beast too. I'm giving out $50,000 to the first 500 people that hit the link in my bio. Like, no, dude, that's not fucking happening. Scam, bro. But people be falling for that shit. It's not always old people too.
Yeah.
But as far as like the political aspect of it, old people falling for it, do you think that just has to do with their age? Do you think that has to do with them like wanting to see or believe, or them just trying to look for things to fit their narrative or what they already like believe in their heart? Or like, why do you think old people so much, primarily old people, fall for it? Do you think it's because they're also, do you also think it could be because they're, you know, getting old, so their brain cognitive abilities are kind of weakening? Or
I think
okay. Do you think that thing, because right now it's primarily, we see it in the boomers, but do you think that will go on to be in more generations? Because like millennials are very much socially aware, I feel like, and they don't fall for that much bullshit. Some of it, you know, but I think that's more just every group of people, you know, are gonna fall for some fucking bullshit. There's gonna be a few dumbasses in every group. But do you think that will transition, like, once the millennials, you know, are in their 60s, you know, once the millennials are 65 plus, do you think they're going to start falling for that shit more easy? Or even our generation, like Gen Z, you know, do you think we're going to start, you know, falling for that once we get in that older generation of being 65 plus? Or do you think it's going to be different because we are growing up with it and we're more attuned and keen to it?
I think I don't know, because
that's gonna be interesting to see.
You don't know if the world's gonna change or something, or like.
Now, obviously, politics in the world and beliefs are gonna look different.
Yeah.
But obviously, the world's in such a shitty, hard place right now, and that misinformation and that like spreading of just fake news, and like especially with AI getting so powerful, is such a prominent thing. And I don't know, just what do you kind of think though, as far as like what's been more so your experience, and like how do you think it'll keep going?
I do think like our generation will I don't think we'll be like boomers now.
Okay.
Because
we're growing up with it. Okay. Alright, so we'll be a little bit, but also AI is getting better and better. So like about a few years ago it was really easy. Now it's a little hard, you know. Like I've even got, not for like fake news videos, but there was like a video, like it was like a fat person stuck in a water slide, and I just gotta watch it. I watched it like twice, and I thought it was real the first like 2 times I saw it. I was like, oh wait, no, that looks weird. Why is his foot like that? But the video looks real. Right. So you just gotta watch it a couple times. Yeah. But then there's certain things like that are just blatantly like fake. Like they be shown videos and things, or like news articles, or talking about things that it's like, that's not fucking true. You know, like that person didn't actually drink whatever baby's blood or do this weird shit or whatever bullshit they're pushing. Like there's just certain shit that's just blatantly not true. And I don't know, I think it's going to be interesting to see as the years progress and as time moves forward what that kind of looks like. Any final thoughts you'd like to add? I don't think so. No? Okay. And then the last topic of discussion we got for today on the agenda is Baby King's new album, Casino. I listened to it. I just dropped the review up on the YouTube. What were your thoughts? I saw you posted about it. What do you think about it? Yeah, I liked it. I don't think I finished the whole thing. Okay. But I got to what's second to last. I definitely like Casino the best. Really? Okay. Yeah. That was one of my. I like that one, but I'd say it was probably my 4th favorite. Yeah. I don't know. Oh. Because I really liked it. I think it delivered for the most part. As far as I don't know, your second album's always really hard. I feel like for every artist, because they always come out with a really good artist, and you look at all throughout time, you know, very lyrical. It's, definitely a lot more introspection, and definitely a lot more lyrical, going in a lot more depth as far as his own personal life and stories and kind of his background. And the things he's struggling with. I know a big thing he talked a lot throughout that one is his mom and her struggling with drug abuse and things like that. But I don't know. I think it delivered, but I don't know. As far as like, how do you think it stacks up to the Melodic Blue? Because I personally like the Melodic Blue better, but the Melodic Blue has like 2 or 3 songs that I don't like. But the Melodic Blue is 16 songs, and this one is only 11. But Casino, I like every song on there. But there's songs on the Melodic Blue like Family Ties or like Lost Souls or like Range Brothers that I think are better than everything on, Casino.
Right. I don't really know. I think.
Like, which one would you think is better?
I think Melodic Blue is definitely better.
Okay. All right. I think it's better too, but Casino is definitely a really good project. Yeah. And like, I don't know, like I've been hearing some people saying it's a 10 out of 10 project. Like, yeah, is every song good on it? But is every song, like some of the songs are like only a 7 out of 10, but every song is good. Like as far as skips, there's no skips on the project, but overall as a whole project, I'd say it's probably about like an 8.5. And then I'd say like Melodic Blue is a like 8.7. Yeah. Would you think that's pretty fair? Yeah. Definitely. And then as far as like Melodic Blue had like a pretty consistent sound. He experimented a little bit, but it was all pretty much turn up songs. And then he had a few slower songs, like he had Scars on there, he had Lost Souls. But on this album, he definitely had a lot more like lyrical, like focused and like driven thoughts and concepts for songs. Like I'm Not a Lyricist was a super lyrical song, kind of ironically, and Highway 95 Part 2 was another really introspective song where he got really lyrical on that one. And then he experimented a lot. Like one of my favorite songs was Dramatic Girl. You listened to that one? That was the second to last song.
I don't think I listened to that one.
Alright, that one was like more a pop kind of influence song. He was singing on pretty much that whole song, but it was like a very much pop influence song. Like it sampled Kids by the song Kids by MGMT. You've heard it before. It's a very recognizable sample and beat. But it's like a pop, EDM song that he sampled, but he's singing on the whole track and it's super good. But it's very much like a pop song, but it sounds super good. His voice is really good on it, but he definitely, I think, experimented a lot more. As far as the consistency throughout the whole project, I would like to see it be a little bit more consistent sound, like a lot more like high roller status songs. Like I think if it was all kind of sounded like Casino and was all like House Money and Casino records, and they all sounded like that, like upbeat, just like fucking bangers, slappers, I think that would have been better. And then I would have loved, like, he like had certain clips of like the Better Luck Next Time or like the slot machine ringing. I thought it would have been cool if he like made it cinematic and he like made it like the movie Casino. We watched that before, right? Did I watch that with you?
I think so.
Yeah, the Martin Scorsese film, another good gangster movie, but yeah, it's got Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro in it, gangster movie, but about them running casinos and the crime in Las Vegas. But I think it would have been cool if he like added some like snippets or samples at the end, like made it kind of that story. Right. I think that would have been sick to add in there. But I like the project. Overall, what kind of your final thoughts on the project?
I thought it was definitely very good.
Okay. Do you think it's like a good solid follow-up? Now, as far as this moving forward, do you think his next album will be better than Casino?
Has he talked about it next album?
He is not, but there's rumors. I don't know, because originally there was rumors that this project was going to be called Raised by Wolves, I believe. And that's and he mentioned that also. He said that in one of the records also. I think on Highway 95 he said that. Or no, I think it was I'm Not a Lyricist. He said that. But as far as moving on to this next project, do you think this gives him the runway to make a better second or third album? Excuse me.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'd love to just see his career going up from here, and hopefully it's not another fucking 5-year wait.
Hopefully the concert's lit too.
Oh yeah, we're going to the concert. Got the tickets already. Going to be fucking crazy. We're gonna vlog it for you guys, so make sure you guys tap into that. Well, till next time, guys. This was a super fun episode of the pod. Remember, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and drop down in the comments what you guys think we should call the podcast, because we're still thinking of a name right now, because just two guys and a fucking couch. The pod. Yeah. But, yeah, let us know down in the comments what you guys thought of the album. Let us know what you guys think about the whole Sean Strickland situation, about indoctrination, everything we talked about in the video, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Pick up a copy of my brand new book, Simplicity and Complexity of Life, and until next time, peace out. Boom, 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 boom! All right, hold on, we gotta get the thumbnail, so sit right there. We gotta get the thumbnail.